Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and to create space for all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Monday. We actually are dropping a thought piece this upcoming Monday, so definitely be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. Now, if it is the case that you're looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available wherever podcasts are playing, and we provided you with access to a few links down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Allô les mecs et les mecs. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And today's topic of discussion is education. On the conversation on education this week, I want to talk about need to know. The need to know. And I think that is a really important skill set, driven mostly by curiosity, but also having an intolerance, if you will, to blind spots. And so I am someone who has navigated my career mostly by trying to fill in my blind spots. Like, there were different opportunities to learn or to fill in the gaps in the different industries and the different markets that I was working in, and it was in pursuing, acquiring that knowledge that I was pivoting and moving my career along the way and discovering more about what I liked, finding an alignment by way of like what my career preference was and the kind of environment that I need and the kind of work that I need. All of that was driven by curiosity. But I think curiosity is delicate. Like, it's not something that's typically going to eat at you, but the need to know is. The need to know is something where you have an intolerance to ambiguity. And so if we were having a conversation around mental wellness or around mental health, I would talk about leaning into ambiguity, getting comfortable, cultivating agility and ambiguity. But when it comes to concrete data, concrete information, you need to have a need to know. There needs to be a certain thirst for what is beyond your realm of understanding and what is beyond your realm of comprehension. And if that lives in another human, then extract that and gain that for yourself. Or, I mean, we live in the knowledge era. You can get that online. And so because I am fairly intolerant to my blind spots, I recognize them in every setting that I'm in, and that I do a checks and balances. And so I know a little about a lot of different topics just because of the fact that I had this need to know. I need to know, how to bridge a gap from A to B. I need to know if A to B equals C. I need to have those logical connections in place, and I need to be confident in those logical connections. I don't want to be dependent or reliant on another person, even if they're the one driving the expertise in that realm. And I think that if all of us satiated our curiosity, but for certain things have that need to know, or develop that need to know, or develop the need to question, the need to clarify, the need to paraphrase, and we would all be much more clear on the objectives, on the competing priorities and the competing timelines of one another just by asking some simple questions. And I think that it's just really important that all of us cultivate this inner drive, and I think need to know is a form of drive. And I think drive is something that we can parcel down into different attitudes, states of being, states of mind, different acquisitions that you're searching for, but need to know definitely needs to be one of them, because if you need to know, then that's going to translate in your personal life, that's going to translate in your professional life, that's going to translate in how you tackle self-discovery and self-mastery, just with this need to know. And in that need to know and allowing yourself to be driven by the need to know, you're going to find yourself in alignment to whatever higher purpose you feel that you have. And I think all of us have a higher purpose, and not all of us are born knowing what it is, but most of us, we kind of settle with where we are because we don't think that there is that passion factor for us. We don't know what that passion factor would look like. We haven't really felt it. We're just really good at doing a lot of things that we're not necessarily super passionate about. And so I want to break you out of that cycle. I think that a lot of us, if we are people pleasers to some extent, we're very good at, biting the bullet and cultivating expertise and proficiency and competencies in areas that don't naturally stimulate us. And luckily for me, I didn't develop that competency. All of the areas that I have a fair amount of knowledge in are areas that interest me and that pique my curiosity and that intrigue me to some extent. And I'm happy that that wasn't conditioned out of me. I'm really happy about that, because I find alignment. Where my energy goes, where my energy flows, is very much where my energy needs to be. And so I want that alignment for everyone, but I think that what needs to happen is you need to know. When someone puts something out there as truth, you need to know whether or not it's true or not. You need to fact check. You need to see, well, how do I feel about that? I'm not necessarily going to just ingest the information and just take it as it is. Like, how do I feel? What do I need to be able to agree or disagree with this information? What kind of information should be feeding that decision point? The need to know, I think, is just so crucial for us to continuously grow and evolve and thrive in this lifetime. So I want to come here and talk about it because it is the education that starts at home. Some people are very kind of lackadaisical about their capacity to learn. And I think it only happens within an academic setting, within a formal set of four walls. But need to know is something that happens to the extent that you're driving it. And because I have key topics that I need to know what's going on in those topic areas. I want to know the trends. I want to know who the big players are, who the big speakers are, whose thought piece is highly valued in those areas. And I need to know that because it satiates my curiosity. It feels good to know, and the need to know needs to match with the feels good to know. And that creates this alignment to a path that gives you the mastery and the expertise in areas that are in alignment to you and to your passion, to where you want to put your energy in the long term. And so because I believe in figuring out where we want our energy to go long term, and the prerequisites to where we should want our energy to go should definitely be driven by what energy we give that brings us energy back. It should be an energy relay. We shouldn't feel drained by the end of the day. We should feel ready to kickstart the next part of our day, because I think that life, I want to maximize like the full day that I have in my life. I have things that I want to do. So if I'm always engaging in things that excite me, that energize me, then I have the energy to continuously do the things that matter to me. But all of that, the underlying premise of all of that is this need to know. So for you, where is that need to know lacking? Where can you kind of dial it up, dial the need to know up a little bit more, to get curious, to get answers, to get involved, to cultivate your own sense of mastery rather than dependent on the mastery of others. Cultivate your own nuanced position in that mastery, because just because you could cultivate mastery doesn't mean you need to cultivate the same periphery or perspective than someone else. And I think it's just such a fun, in-depth conversation to have mastery, but within the lens of your perspective, within the lens of your beliefs and desires and your values, and have a conversation with someone around the same topic, and they're passionate about it, but their lens is colored from very different beliefs, values, and thoughts. And so I like to have those kinds of conversations. I can engage in those kinds of conversations because of my need to know. And so I want to encourage you, or really push you to cultivate that need to know in a specific area. Pick a topic, any topic that maybe vaguely catches your attention, but you know that it's going to be a certain level of commitment to cultivate a certain degree of mastery, and give yourself that commitment. We only have a couple of months, a few months left before the end of this year. So I think that as this year comes to a close, focus on evolution. evolution, focus on growth, focus on the trajectories that you want your learning to take over the next upcoming year. So that's what I wanted to come on here and talk about, some food for thought for you. If I have piqued your interest, then I want you to think about joining our self-mastery classes. We have self-mastery classes in all areas that cultivate the foundational basis of growth and development and evolution. So these are like the life skills, more soft skills that I feel like a lot of people underestimate the value on, and being autonomous, being someone who has a strong sense of self-concept, a strong sense of their ability, and a strong sense of empathy for the people around them and their individual growth journeys. So definitely think about that. And as it relates to my stalking situation, no information for you as yet, but you will be the first to know when I do. Thank you so much again, and we'll talk to you all very soon.